Welcome to At Our Table Live from the DNC December meeting in Los Angeles. Folks, I'm your host, Jamie Harrison, and I am so excited to be here. We have some great guests today, and I'm looking forward to the discussion at our table. Man, it is great to be here. And you know what? I'm back here as a member of the DNC. They changed the rules to allow the former chair to be a DNC member for 4 years, and I'm so grateful. You know, a lot of people think that the DNC gets together for the big convention every 4 years, but the DNC actually meets either 2 or 3 times a year. These meetings, like the one that's happening right here in Los Angeles, are a chance for DNC members to connect and to plan. It's time for them to share lessons learned. It's time for them to really coordinate what is going to be the message, what is going to be our techniques to win elections. Right now, we're at the start of the third day of this DNC meeting. Members have been here for a few days. They've been in committee meetings, council meetings. Right now, we have regional caucus meetings that are going on. They've had trainings. And today, members are attending those regional caucus meetings where, you know, all of the South, all of the West, all of the East, all of the Midwest are together talking about the things going on in their individual states. And I'm currently coming to you live from right outside where the general session will be in a few hours. And in this general session, we're going to have some of the biggest names in Democratic politics. We're going to hear from former Vice President Kamala Harris right here. We are going to hear from Governors J.B. Pritzker. The new governors of New Jersey and Virginia are going to be right here. Ken Martin, the DNC chair, is going to be here. And I'm thrilled for the next hour to get to talk to members, elected officials, and party chairs, and to give everyone at home a sense of what's happening here at the DNC. And for those of you who have sent in questions, we have those prepped, and we will be asking our guests some of those questions as well. But first, I am really, really excited to welcome to At Our Table someone who is hosting the DNC in his state. He is the state party chair of the great state of California, Rusty Hicks. And Rusty is going to come in and join me here.
Yeah. Hey there, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Well, it is so good to be here. So again, tell our audience who you are and what your role is and what you do.
Yeah. Rusty Hicks, chair of the California Democratic Party. I have had the opportunity to work with you in a previous administration, and I always wondered how I would have the opportunity to get on this show. I mean, my goodness, you got all these rock stars on here, but certainly an honor to be here with you.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for hosting us at this DNC meeting. It's been fabulous thus far, and people are really looking forward to what's going on later on this afternoon when we have some big stars. And your governor, Gavin Newsom, was around the building yesterday and had rock star status. Everybody's trying to take selfies and all. Governor Newsom has really rocketed up the charts in terms of, more, people know of him outside of the great state of California because he's been fighting.
Sure.
But tell us about what has been going on in California just over this last year.
Well, there was a little thing called Proposition 50 that obviously Texas and Donald Trump decided to start a fight, and California decided to swing back. And, a measure that looked easy in the end.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of the press stories landed.
Yeah.
Was not always the case. In fact, it was not polling to pass when it first came out of the gate, but there was a lot of hard work. Governor Newsom deserves a lot of the credit for helping to drive that. California Democrats, the delegation swung really hard, and I'm really proud of the work that our party did on the ground, making phone calls, knocking on doors, building coalitions, running voter protection programs that are going to make a difference, not just in 2025, but in 2026. At the end of the day, that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
This is about retaking the House of Representatives, cutting Donald Trump's term in half, and we've got the opportunity to do that, not just in California, but in many ways around the country. And so what has been happening here, to your question, I think it's been Democrats from across the country having the opportunity to come together to celebrate the victories that have happened, not just in California, but across the country, and get ready for 2026.
Well, what is really big and, for folks to understand, we may know whether or not Democrats take back the House of Representatives based on the races that will happen here in California in 2026.
Yeah.
In addition to that, very important races in the House. You also have a governor's race, and all your statewide races here in 20.
Don't remind me.
I mean, how many Democrats do you have running right now for governor in California?
The bench is deep.
Yeah.
And look, I think it speaks to how deep the bench of California Democrats truly is. No shortage of talent and leaders who have done great things. We'll have our convention in February. We'll see if I get, we get a nomination and an endorsed candidate. But
are you going to run?
What's that?
Are you going to run?
Well, there's about eight people here who may. I thought you might move to California and declare.
Well, I just visited the other USC yesterday.
I'm sure they'd love to have you. But look, I think at the end of the day, we look forward to electing another California Democrat as governor in 2026.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Well, we have gotten a lot of our national leaders from the great state of California.
Yeah.
You just had one leader who is near and dear to my heart, somebody that I know very well, Nancy Pelosi, to just announce her retirement.
Yeah.
What does that mean for the state of California that Nancy Pelosi, who I believe is the greatest of all time as it relates to Speaker of the House, I can't wait until they name one of those House office buildings after her,
right?
Because she deserves it. But what does that mean to have her step off of the stage?
In many ways, I don't think she's stepping off the stage.
Yeah.
I think she's starting a new chapter. She will continue to be a leader, a power player in this party, just as she always has been. Remember, she was the chair of the California Democratic Party.
That's exactly right.
Before spending nearly 4 decades. And I think she has said, I asked her, I said, from a former chair to a current chair, what advice do you have for me? And she says, well, being chair of the California Democratic Party was a great thing to have done.
Yeah.
And I think it helped only enhance her organizing skills that she obviously took to Congress and did phenomenal work for not just California, but for the American people. And so I have no doubt we're going to have the opportunity to celebrate her in February for all of her leadership and work. And just look forward to working with her in the next chapter.
I mean, she really is fantastic. And I can tell you, she lives, breathes, and eats the Democratic Party. She is constantly focused on the party. And something I will forever be grateful to her when, and I don't know if I ever told you the story, Rusty, when I was running for the U.S. Senate, I raised a lot of money, but the Republicans were pouring so much money in my race at the last minute. So it almost felt like it was I was fighting on multiple fronts from Lindsey Graham. He had money coming in, his super PAC, Mitch McConnell, and then all of these other outside groups. And it got to the point where we were strapped in terms of resources for just a little bit for our field operation. And I called Chuck Schumer up and I said, Mr. Leader, I need a little more money to do some more door knocking and all those other things. He said, well, I don't have it. He said, maybe call Nancy. And so, folks got in contact with Speaker Pelosi. And she sent resources down to the state party. Like, I'm running for U.S. Senate, not the U.S. House of Representatives, but the U.S. Senate.
Yeah.
And Nancy Pelosi, because of the understanding of the importance of fighting everywhere, competing everywhere, decided to dig in her pocket and to bring resources. And so I will never forget her. I will always be grateful for her and her friendship and her leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're in many ways, sad to see her not be in that particular role, but obviously she'll continue to play a leadership role in some form or fashion, no doubt about that.
Well, listen, Rusty, we really appreciate anything that you want our listeners to know about California or what's going on that's on your heart that you really need more support on, or anything that interesting that you're working on.
Well, I think California has always been generous in time, talent, and treasure with fights across the country. We appreciated the support that came in from around the country around Proposition 50 because of what it means. I know, folks especially in the administration, like to bash on California, but there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
It's because there's 40 million people in the fourth largest economy that's helping to drive and move our country forward. And so Californians have felt the brunt of this administration and feeling an obligation to deliver on at least 48 congressional
Yeah.
seats in 2026. We have had we've got 9 at the moment.
Mhm.
I've said let's try to get them and keep them into a small minivan, but now we've got the opportunity to put them in a two-door broke down
I love it.
hoopty, which is what I'm going to try to do in 2026.
I love it.
So
I love
yeah,
it. Well, Mr. Chairman, best of luck to
yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend, for always fighting and for always rolling out the red carpet to us here.
It's always good to be at your table.
Thank you.
Take
It's
care.
good seeing you.
All right. Take care, everybody.
So, folks, again, that was just the chairman of the Democratic Party here in California. Next, well, we have another guest who's coming over, and we're going to have her introduce herself. Let her. She'll tell you where she's from and what she's doing. Hello, welcome to At Our Table. Yeah. So I want you to introduce yourself to our guests and where you're from.
I am from Florida. My name is Tamika Lyles. I am the United States Senate candidate there in Florida.
So Tamika Lyles, she's running for the U.S. Senate in the great state of Florida.
Yes.
And so how's the Senate race coming along?
Well, it is coming.
Yes.
We are definitely setting some groundwork there in Florida. I know that it has been written off by a lot of people as being a loss as far as the Democratic Party is concerned. But we're fighting, and we want to let everybody know that you can't write us off because we're going to do well.
Yeah. Well, and you all in Florida just had a big victory in Miami. Tell us about that race and what happened.
Absolutely. We are flipping seats.
Yes.
That's what happened.
Yes.
That's what happened. So we got a blue wave coming, and we are riding that wave all the way until next year. So right when these Republicans think that we can't do it, we're showing them that we can. What's happening in Florida is that we are finding a lot of Republicans that don't agree with the current administration are now voting blue.
Yeah.
So it is making it very easy for us to flip these seats that they don't think that we can flip.
Well, and folks, just so you know, in Miami, for the first time in almost 30 years, we now have a Democratic mayor-elect in the city of Miami, which is big. And what happened there demographically, you had some of the Cuban residents in Florida actually voting Democratic, which it normally does not happen, right?
It normally does not happen, but we have found that through education and registering these voters, they are voting blue. A lot of times when we have people move to Florida, because Florida is a transient state, a lot of times they don't really understand the voting process in Florida. We do have a closed primary, and a lot of times they don't understand what it means to have to choose one of the major two parties in order to be able to vote in the primary.
Yeah.
And so a lot of those sticky, situations like that are just for Florida, a lot of people from outside don't understand that. So now we are educating and we're registering those voters and making sure that they are able to vote and they know when to vote. And it is causing a huge blue wave there.
Well, we are looking forward to it because, listen, similar to Florida and Texas are the two dream states for me. When you get Florida and Texas to flip, man, it is game over for the Republicans.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Now, Tamika, tell us a little bit about who you are and why you're running for the U.S. Senate.
Okay, well, I am a veteran. I'm a mother. I am a mediator and an educator and a union member. I wear a lot of hats.
No, a lot of hats.
And I am running for the U.S. Senate because we need change there in Florida. As you know, there has never been a minority female to be elected in a statewide seat there in Florida. And I think that right now, this is the time for change. We need fresh blood that is bringing those new ideas that have can put their foot down.
Yeah.
Because we have an administration right now that needs just that. We need people that are outspoken and that can stand up to what's going on. And Florida is sinking. It is sinking fast. It is unaffordable right now.
And DeSantis is just a mess.
Oh my God. He is a Trump minion.
Yeah.
And Florida is sinking because of it. And so we have to have some great elected people right now to change that trajectory.
And were you born and raised in Florida? Or?
I was not.
Okay.
I am born in Tennessee, but because I've been a veteran and I've traveled, I have I've been in Florida since 2012, and I have been active in the political arena and in advocacy since 2017 in Florida.
Well, we are so excited about having you here. What is it that you want our listeners to know about your race for the U.S. Senate?
I want them to know that I am the only veteran in the race, and I am the only candidate with proven advocacy, where you can look me up and see the work that I've been doing in Florida and throughout. And that is important right now. It is important that we have candidates that are proven to walk the walk, that are not just talking the talk.
Yeah.
So I definitely want everyone that is listening to follow me. You can find my website. It's just my name, TamikaLyles.com.
And how do you spell Tamika?
TAMIKA.
Okay.
LYLES. And that's my website that will send you to my ActBlue. It will send you to all of my social media, and you can see what's going on and definitely support.
Well, Tamika, thank you so much for having us or being at our table here at the DNC. Great. And I hope you get a chance to really meet some of the DNC members and just coordinate. And best of luck to you in your race.
Thank you. It has been a pleasure meeting you. I know you understand my plight.
Oh, I do. As somebody who ran for the U.S. Senate, I get it. I get it.
You understand my plight. So It was a pleasure to finally meet you.
Thank you, Tamika. And best of luck to you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, folks, that was Tamika Lyles. And so really excited about having her. And now we have another guest. I want you to introduce yourself to everyone and let us know who you are and where you're from and why you're here at the DNC.
I'm a DNC member. My name is Millie Herrera. I'm from Florida, from Miami.
Also another Floridian, folks, and you're a DNC member from Florida.
I'm a DNC member. I got elected in January.
Yeah, congratulations.
We have our elections kind of late, but yep. And then we had to hurry to get to the to DC for our first DNC meeting. And
so this is your first time serving at the DNC.
Yes,
so is this your first DNC meeting?
No, this is my third, because the first one was the election and the second one in August, and now this is my third one.
Oh, so what do you think? You're now a 3-meeting veteran.
I am. And the fun part about it is that I'm a member of the DNC Hispanic Caucus.
Yeah.
That we are growing. We now have 59 members, which is fantastic. And I'm also in the southern region, so we're motivating and mobilizing the South, because that's the future, I believe, in this nation. And with the Hispanic community, we just had a cafecito. We had a great turnout.
Which was huge. I mean, I think folks across the country were talking about what happened in Miami just recently. I mean...
What happened was the result of organizing.
Yeah.
So we started in Miami-Dade County. Our programs vice chair, Carissa Perez Fuentes, who is now leaving us for Georgia, but it's okay.
No.
We allow her to do that. She's getting a fantastic job. She was programs vice chair, and she started the program of phone banking to register folks for vote by mail.
Yeah.
And that started moving the community to come out. So we built it up from March. And yes, we had a great candidate. We had a great campaign, and we now have the first woman mayor in Miami.
In Miami.
Ever. And the first registered Democrat in 30 years.
So similar to what happened earlier in Jacksonville. right?
That is correct. That is correct.
Democrats flipped Jacksonville. It was I think Jacksonville was one of those cities one of the biggest cities in the country that Republicans control. Miami was one of those cities as well. And now Democrats, in the course of about 3 years, have flipped both Jacksonville and they have flipped Miami. Folks, something is happening in Florida right now, and I think people really need to pay attention.
So we're recruiting good candidates, Democratic candidates all over the state. And, this win was, she got 70% of the vote.
70% of the vote.
70% of the vote. In the city of Miami, that is very, very conservative, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And normally on a special election, we get like 5% turnout. We had 21% turnout. And it is all about organizing. It's about believing that we have the message. And there were Republicans and NPAs that also, and no party affiliates that also voted for her, but we got our vote out.
So can you talk a little bit, in this last presidential election in 2024, people saw that there was a shift in the Latino community, and not that the community is a monolith, but there was a shift in the Latino community, and some voted Republican, some voted for Donald Trump. Do you think that is a permanent shift, or do you think things are moving back?
We're a swing. We're a purple state. We really have a swing. I remember when President Barack Obama ran for the first time in 2007.
Yeah.
He recognized the diversity within the diversity in Florida for the Latino community. And he was on the ground. And he got 52% of Cuban-American vote.
That is amazing.
And he did it again in 2012, getting 48% of the Cuban, which is the vote-rich Miami-Dade County and South Florida is what gets us over the hump of the more conservative North.
Yep.
So we want to get back to that. We want to get back to what we're about, what Democrats are about, organizing, listening to our people, whether you're Republican, Independent, or a Democrat. This is a message of we're here for you.
Yeah.
And we're seeing the politics that have hurt our community so much in Florida, pitching us against each other, pitching communities against each other, taking away healthcare, taking away protections, labor protections, which is a big thing.
It's a big issue, yeah.
And minimum wage, and just like ignoring the fact that we're human beings.
Yeah.
That our children need education, not private education with people that are just making money, but public education is very important.
Well, listen, we are so proud of all that you have done. Thank you so much for being here at our table.
Thank you.
And I hope you enjoy the rest of your DNC meeting.
Oh, I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And keep up the good work in Florida.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you
so much.
Thank you. So now we have another guest at our table. I need you to introduce yourself and to say who you are and where you're from.
Yeah, my name is Samuel Vilches Santiago. I'm the chair of the Orange County Democratic Party in Orlando, Florida.
So wait, folks, we got another Floridian here. Florida is just trying to dominate at our table today. Everybody's going to get jealous in some of these other states soon. But Samuel, you're a young guy. Tell us a little bit about who you are. How the hell did you become chair of a county party as big as the county that you represent?
Yeah. So I came to the United States in 2010 as a political refugee from Venezuela. So I grew up seeing my parents fight for democracy back home. And when we moved to the United States, I was actually in high school, and I started working for the local party because I was like, if my parents had done it back at home, I definitely need to do it here. And quite honestly, for the last 10 years, we've been working in different elections, working to show up for communities. And I got elected as chair about 3 years ago. We've been doing incredible work. We have flipped 7 seats from red to blue.
Wow.
The last 2 years.
7 seats from red to blue, folks. 7 seats. And this is happening. Again, you're hearing all of this. We've had 3 guests from Florida, and they're telling you on the ground. You might hear some perceptions like, oh, it's a waste to invest in Florida, this and that. But you are telling me on the ground, you are actually starting to flip seats.
That's right. I mean, last cycle, we did over 4 million individual voter contacts. We work together with our candidates, with our elected officials, with the party. And this year alone, we've already done over 150,000 voter contacts, 50,000 doors. We've overperformed in special elections. We flipped a seat in the City of Orlando Commission by 24 points, a seat that had been held by Republicans for 13 years. And we're continuing to do the work to build a bench. to find good candidates and to really build up our Florida infrastructure for the long term.
Tell me a little bit about the youth. I mean, you're a young guy. How old are you?
I'm 28.
28. And so one of the things that you're constantly hearing is about, the next generation stepping up and leading. And so it fills my heart with pride to see you as a 28-year-old leading a county party. And then one day, hopefully you'll be, chair of the state party, or you'll be a candidate yourself. But tell us a little bit about young people getting involved there. How are you bringing more young people into the fold in Florida?
So just this year alone, we have tripled our membership. We now have 750 people, and a lot of that membership growth has been a lot of young people. And we've been intentional to go out and work with the Young Democrats, to work with the UCF Democrats, and make sure that there's a space for them to come into the party, and not only come into the party as volunteers, but also grow in party leadership. Actually, in the state of Florida, we had our DNC elections, and we elected 4 people under the age of 35 out of 11.
Wow.
Right? And that's because I think people want to see young people step up and also to lead the party. And then, I mean, my friend Maxwell Frost got elected as our member of Congress in Orlando, the first DNC member of Congress. And he also brought a lot of energy from young people. But young people are ready to lead in this moment where everything is so dark, and where we see in both politicians in Washington and Tallahassee from the Republican Party attacking our liberties and attacking our future. I think it's a great opportunity for us to continue building our party with young people.
Well, listen, I am so proud of you and so grateful for your leadership and stepping up. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all the work that you're doing in Florida to really shift and change that state.
And really, thank you for stepping up and helping us in Florida when you were the chairman of the DNC.
I visited Florida a lot.
We had you down in Orlando. We had you at our meetings.
Yeah.
And it really means a lot when national leaders care about this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, it's good to see you. Happy holidays to you. And thank you so much for being at our table.
You.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, I think we're being joined by another we got the Hispanic Caucus Chair from the great state of Texas. Tell us who you are.
How you doing, Chair? I'm doing well. My name is Julio Salinas. I'm the Hispanic Caucus co-chair of the Texas Democratic Party. And I'm also I'm also a candidate for the State House in House District 41 down in McAllen.
Yes. Well, listen, man, as folks know, man, there's so much going on in Texas right now.
Yes,
it is. Have you ever seen Texas being the national dialogue as much as it has been this last year?
No, not at all. And you know what? I'm actually really glad about that. National Dems just made the Texas House one of the targets for the next cycle. And I'm actually really proud of that. That hasn't been something that we've been seeing in a long time.
And is the seat that you're running for one that is currently occupied by Republicans?
No, it's one occupied currently by a Democrat. But if you look at my district is in the county that swung most towards Republicans than any other county in the entire country. 24 points since 2016.
Wow.
And my district is the most critical district of the most critical state.
So we have to keep it.
Yes, of the most critical country. Yes, we need that, and we need to keep it as much as we can.
So, the buzz right now in Texas is about you all just had your filing date. And so there were seismic shifts that took place. One, Congresswoman, because of the redistricting that has taken place in Florida, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett has gotten into the race for U.S. Senate. Also State Rep James Tallarico is also in the race. Colin Allred, who's a dear friend of mine, is running in the House. For, I think, Texas 33. And so, I mean, there are a lot of shifting dynamics there. Tell us about, do you think Texas is on the verge of flipping? Do you think you have the candidates right now to see Texas shift from red to at least purple?
At least purple, yeah. No, I think that we have what it takes. I think these candidates that we have, and a lot of people are really complaining about the primary, but I think primary is sharp and steel.
No, yeah.
I think that whoever comes out of this primary on the Senate side, whether it be Congressman Cochran or Representative Tallarico, who I worked with in the State House, as a state, as a legislative director, I think that whoever comes out of this primary is going to come out stronger going into the next election. So I'm actually really excited for that Senate race and for what it's going to happen, the down ballot effects that is going to happen to us.
Well, I know sometimes, primaries give people heartburn, but at the very least, what you will have is a lot of organizing that will take place over the course of the next few months.
Of course.
Of them galvanizing folks, getting people, volunteers signed up across the state, really organizing in pockets and spaces where, sometimes there's no activity.
No doubt.
And that's going to be crucial for that general election.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's why I'm a really strong proponent of primaries, especially in open seats like these. I myself am in a strong competitive primary against a very long-time Republican who has been voting Republican since the last 15 years.
Yeah.
So I think that this is something that, we have a choice for what the future of the Rio Grande Valley is going to be, because that's the most critical region for us flipping in Texas. If we lose the Rio Grande Valley, we can't win Texas at all. So we are at a critical juncture right now in this moment where we need to make that happen, where we need to have good candidates speaking to good people.
Yep.
And my district specifically runs between the two congressional districts that we need to win, Henry Cuellar's in 28 and hopefully Bobby Pulido in Texas 15. So it runs straight through the middle of that. So my district is going to be very pivotal for that.
Well, and one of the things I think that is really, really important and I've seen this in a number of states, is that when you can get and recruit really good candidates on these state house districts, it generates an energy that impacts the top of the ticket, and can make those races even more competitive. So it's good that you're doing this. Good that you're running. It's great to hear about all the good things going in Texas. One of the things I want to know from you as the Hispanic Caucus Chair in Texas, sort of where ground zero is. We saw, and I mentioned this to one of our guests from Florida, we saw in the 2024 election a shift in terms of particularly Hispanic men.
Yes.
Latino men, and some of them, and we saw a little bit shifted with black men also, voting for Republicans or Donald Trump.
Right.
Do you think that is a permanent shift? Do you see that as a blip that just happened in the 2024 elections? And what is the recipe for Democrats to really go in and appeal to this demographic?
Sure. Well, I'll give you an optimist view and a little bit more of a cautionary view.
Yeah.
Cautionary view. Of course, we have right now in this moment the demographic that we lost with the most out of any other demographic in the entire country are the people who look like me.
Yes.
Young Hispanic men.
Yep.
I'm 25 years old. I'm Hispanic. I'm a man, and these are the people that we lost in this area. And specifically on that, I will tell you, I'm very optimistic that we can get them back at least in 2026 because of what's happening with tariffs and what's happening with immigration raids. That people are seeing, that people are very much opening their eyes to the fact that what is happening right now is detrimental not only for the economy of the Rio Grande Valley but Texas as a whole, and the economy of people. That's not to say any of the more ramifications. But the cautionary tale right now is that the Republicans are putting every effort that they have to destroying public education and making that something. I mean, they're putting TPUSA places all over campuses, chapters all over campuses to indoctrinate effectively kids and college students into believing their message. And
so what can Democrats do in order to counter that?
Well, there's several different things. Of course, we can bring major investments into schools. We can try to fight every single day to get rid of this voucher scam that we have in Texas. And we need to fully fund our schools, our public schools, and education. We need to make sure that we're funding and taking care of these folks. And there are several issues that we can fix right now. I think that right now we can't be. We're under threat of maybe being lapsed by the Republicans in terms of marijuana deschedulization.
Yeah.
Right? That's something that we could easily do on this one that would easily win a lot of folks from young folks. And that's something we can easily do by the flick of a pen under a Democratic administration. We just need the political will to do so.
Well, how do you combat that when you're in a minority? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of those things, and I often tell folks, Democrats are fighting back, but when you don't have the power,
sure,
when you don't control, the governor's office, when you don't control the legislature, what do you do as a minority party in order to put a stake down in the ground and demonstrate, what we believe in and what our values are.
And I'm acutely aware of that. I've worked in the state house for a very long time. I had during the quorum break, right? People were actually really inspired by that.
Yeah.
The quorum break in Texas, the House reps, including mine, the one that I worked for, Christina Morales, she broke quorum, and DPS officers knocked on her doors, basically threatening arrests and saying, hey, give up your rep and all that kind of stuff. And, they fought back, and, we were really inspired by that. I think a lot of young people are trying to see the fire back in the Democratic Party to figure out how we can make a better society, a better world, a better Texas for everybody. And that's what I think is lacking right now in the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
There is no sense of messaging. Again, for Republicans, it's really easy. You have to say God, faith, and family.
No, and you really, their message is rooted in fear.
Right.
I mean, right?
Really? Exactly. So their message is rooted in fear. But I think that Democrats need to find a cohesive message. My message in my race is affordability, labor, and liberty. The acronym ALL. An RGV that works for all of us.
Yeah.
So that's the three things that I'm putting into this campaign. You got to figure out those three major focuses that young people and Hispanic folks really care about. And I think affordability is a huge one in this case. And we fight for that. We fight for those three things, and we just keep on hammering every single day until people are tired about hearing about us.
I love it. It is so important. Tell me about your governor's race. I think Gina Hinojosa, is she the only one running it, or
no? There are several others in the race right now. I think
is she the front runner?
She's the front runner. I think the Representative Hinojosa is the front runner. I think that she's been great. I worked with her in the state house. I lived in her district for a certain amount of time, but I think she's incredible. I think that she's going to do a great job at flipping a lot of these folks, especially being from the Rio Grande Valley herself. She's from Brownsville. I'm from McAllen, so we have a little bit of camaraderie there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to work really hard to make sure that she has a lot of the votes that we need to going into the Rio Grande Valley for sure.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you so much for being at our table, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you in your House race. And we are looking for Texas to flip. Well,
of course.
Again, it is game over when Texas flips. Republicans have nowhere else to go. So thank you again for what you're doing in your leadership. And as a young guy, 25 years old, and you're making waves. So thank you again.
Thank you, Chairman. I really appreciate it. Again, Texas is going to gain 4 congressional seats in the next cycle, right? And so we desperately need to get that back. So if you believe in the campaign, of course, plugging in here, you can visit me at Julio4Texas, FORRGV.com.
Folks, you see he's on it because he knows to plug that website. You got to say it. You got to put it out there.
And donate. It goes a long way. $100 in my district goes $1,000 anywhere else.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we got another guest here at our table. Eric, have a seat. Tell us who you are and where you're from.
Thank you for this opportunity. Eric Croft from Alaska, great state of Alaska.
Alaska, and you're a DNC member. Are you holding the elected office? What are you doing?
I'm former elected. I was in the House, actually served with Mary Peltola, who
I love Mary.
Thinking is coming back. She hasn't announced yet.
Is she's thinking about running for the Senate or governor? I've heard both.
Can't speak for candidates, as you know. They get mad when you do it. But we have
you can tell me what the rumor is.
There you go. My prediction, how about, is that she's going to run for Senate.
And let me tell you, if Mary runs for the Senate, that is a game changer. That puts Alaska on the map for Democrats.
We're putting our biggest dog out in the fight.
Exactly.
Like, this is our best.
She is fantastic. Gets a lot of bipartisan support from Democrats and Republicans because people know that she fights and believes in Alaska.
She just has she feels like a real person. A lot of politicians don't. Yeah. Like, she has a belly laugh I love. Most politicians don't laugh big.
No.
You said, and I'll put on alaskademocrats.org as our website.
Yes,
absolutely
I love
got to do that. And we're organizing for a great slate of candidates, including hopefully Mary, but we have some great ones for governor, Tom Begich and Matt Clayman. We have a great, exciting Reverend running for our U.S. House seat. So
wow. So you have put together a pretty pretty good slate.
We hope to keep it going. We think we're purplish and we're moving to blue, baby.
Well, I got the opportunity to visit Alaska, and Alaska really is God's country. It is beautiful. And folks, one of the things is when you're on that plane and you're flying into the state of Alaska and you see these just miles and miles of untouched mountain ranges that that no man has ever or woman has ever stepped on. Ever.
Right. Bears a walk through, but probably nobody.
Nobody. Yeah. And it's just, it's just amazing to think about. And when we're out there and you just see, you see one eagle around here and you're like, oh my God. I mean, there are eagles all over the damn place in Alaska. I mean, it's just an amazing state and wonderful, wonderful people.
We want to get you back up.
Yes, I had such a great time, and I wish I was there longer. But tell us about what's being a Democrat right now in your legislature. You guys have really been able to pull together sort of this unique coalition of folks.
I knew it was a little weird, but I hadn't realized how unique of a unicorn.
You come and talk.
Yeah, I talk to people like, do you do this? We have elect some independents, which most people don't do. We have coalitions in our legislature. We're technically in the minority in both houses in our state. That is, there's fewer Democrats than Republicans. But we've organized a coalition that puts gavels in all my friends' hands.
Wow.
And so we've been able to bring over some moderate Republicans who don't like their MAGA colleagues. Like, we hope that's a model for the rest of the nation. If we can put together our coalition, strengthen it, and then pull over those that are disaffected, we can build something.
I mean, it's just really amazing, folks. Alaska is one of those places where in some essence, the democracy is still working, right?
We're hanging on to it with our fingernails.
Yeah, it really is. Now, I know that you all really want to change in governor.
Yeah.
One of the things I heard while I was there is like, folks are not pleased with
Dunleavy's been a disaster. We even were able to put together to override his veto on education. He vetoed some education money. We needed not just a 2/3, we needed a 3/4 because that was a budget override. We were able to put that together. So I think there's a groundswell of we don't want this anymore.
Yeah. Well, I am so proud and so pleased with what you guys are doing in Alaska. What is something that you want our audience to know about, something unique or something that you all are working on right now?
Well, just something that I know you talk about a lot that most people are used to giving to candidates.
Yeah.
The reason to give to parties, and we'd say particularly state parties, is they form the infrastructure, the structure that those candidates get to build on.
Yep.
And now is the perfect time to do it. It's Christmas. You can give us a Christmas present at AlaskaDemocrats.org. But if we're doing our job right, and we are here in Alaska, and most state parties are, we're setting the stage for every candidate's success.
Yeah.
With donations that we've got this year, we're going to hire an organizing director, organize a lot of volunteers. That was made possible by people helping. So we appreciate every bit of help.
Oh, and it's so amazing. And again, we're so pleased to have you here. Now,
we'll get you back, Jamie.
As a DNC member, how is this your first year, second year? How long have you been?
I mean, as you know, there's a lot of turnover. I just started in February, former elected, and I came in. We had a great chair, but I'm like, can I take the wheel for a while and try out this car? And he let me. And we're excited about the success and excited about what we can build for 26.
So again, folks, don't sleep on the Alaska Democratic Party. Money goes a long way in
early
Alaska.
Money, little money. Don't mind it.
So think about it. I mean, you just think about it. For that U.S. Senate race, if we could flip Alaska, folks, there is a path for Democrats to take back the majority in the United States.
And put the fear of God into MAGA, right?
Yes.
If we flip Alaska, what comes next?
And it's really, really important. So make sure you go and you contribute to the Alaska Democratic Party. Just a small contribution could go a long way.
Nothing too small. Thanks for having us.
Website again.
AlaskaDemocrats.org.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Nice
Thank you. Folks, I want to invite over a friend who is here. I want to invite Rodney Sampson, who is here. Rodney is someone who is on the DNC Finance Committee. But he is also someone that I am working with on this really interesting initiative. So, Rodney, tell the folks who you are, what you have been working on. Welcome to At Our Table, first and foremost. You've been at our table a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But tell people who you are, what you've been working on, and why you decided that you wanted to be a member of the DNC Finance Committee. And then let's also talk a little bit about something that you and I are working on together.
Absolutely. So NFC finance, I have to be honest, and I'll say this.
No, yeah.
It was originally so that my family could get the picture with Joe Biden. We wanted to support, but we didn't really understand what we were getting into and the opportunity to help influence the campaign, and then didn't really understand that a certain amount of money goes to the DNC and then it spreads itself across all the parties.
Yeah. We
realized that when we started getting thank you cards from like Alaska Dems, Pennsylvania Dems. I'm like, did we give to them? But it was an incredible experience to join the National Finance Committee. And one of the takeaways, I remember the last meeting in Washington. We were all there together. And one of the takeaways was that Dems underperformed when it came to alternative media.
Yes.
And so my wife and I are sitting there in the meeting and we're like, alternative media? Well, we own a company called Pixel.
Yeah.
And so...
And tell people what Pixel does.
Sure. So Pixel is a enterprise online video platform. We host all types of video in all formats for all types of customers, enterprises, churches, colleges and universities, nonprofits, and now in collaboration with you, Jamie, Blue Pixel, we host content for Democrats. We're hosting at our table. Matter of fact, we're live streaming through the platform right now.
Yeah. And why is Pixel important? Why is Blue Pixel also important? Because some people are like, well, I can post my stuff on YouTube. I can do all this and that. Why is it important for the development of a platform for folks that are Democrats right now?
Well, as a Democrat, also as an American, if we zoom out and you look at the owners of YouTube, which is Alphabet. You look at the owners of Facebook, Meta, and some of the other platforms. For the first time in history, we saw them sitting on the dais at a presidential inauguration, sending a message to Congress, the Supreme Court, and anyone else that was sitting out watching the dais that technology and the technocracy was here to play a major role. And so if you really think about it, every time you upload a video to those platforms, every time you like and share a video, you're driving revenue.
Yeah.
And when you drive revenue to those companies and then they turn around and write 7- and 8-figure checks to the Republican Party, you're helping to, fuel what you say you philosophically do not, agree with.
Yeah.
And so it's important to have an alternative, not just from a philosophical perspective, but now if we get into how the artificial intelligence algorithms are impacting Democrats, there are human beings that have programmed machines, and those machines are designed to look for to listen for keywords and other things. And so they suppress the reach of certain voices, and when you do that, you do not create a democratization of distribution. You pigeonhole it and you cherry pick.
Yeah.
And so it's very, very important for even the analytical data that's associated with the video that you've invested resources and time to create. You should own all of that associated data. And that's possible on a platform like Pixel and together with you, Blue Pixel.
And so in essence, unlike, you sign up on YouTube and you're streaming and all, and you get 100,000 subscribers.
Right.
But you don't know who they are.
Absolutely.
You have no data on those folks. You don't own that.
Right.
YouTube does.
They do.
Yeah.
And they monetize
and
that.
And they monetize it.
Absolutely.
But you, as the creator, don't.
You do not.
So say, they do something that you don't like. Now, you as the creator want to move to a different platform. Can you take your 100,000 people with you?
No.
Do you have any of their contact information?
You do not.
I mean, it is something that I think we really need to think about, particularly for those who are creating such amazing content out there and having all of these great conversations. And even you talk about the suppression stuff, which I think is something that is really, really important. You have no clue whether or not you're being suppressed or not.
Right.
Like, it is stuff going on. It's like the Wizard of Oz. What is going on behind the curtain, you don't know anything about.
Absolutely. Well, when you understand their primary business model, which is advertising and then the data analytics part of it, so they are not going to allow us to post or upload and reach everybody on the platform because now they're missing out on the ad revenue, right? They literally sell advertising for you to get your ad in front of as many people, as you pay to reach.
Yep.
So they're not going to do the opposite for everybody to be on the platform.
Yeah.
And that's key.
Where can people go, Rodney, to find out about Pixel and Blue Pixel? What are the sites for?
Absolutely. So for Pixel, you can go to www.pixel.tech. That's www.pixel.tech. And for Blue Pixel, it's blue, BLUE, .pixel, PIXEL.plus.
Yeah.
So blue.pixel.plus.
Well, Rodney, again, I am so excited to be working with you on Blue Pixel. I'm so excited that you have been such a dear friend, a big supporter of the Democratic Party, through your efforts, your work, financially, and really, really appreciate it. And I think Blue Pixel is in 2026 is going to be a thing.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a thing. And so I'm looking forward to working with you on that. And thank you for being here at the DNC meeting and supporting at our table.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Jamie.
Okay.
All right.
So, folks, next we have the newly elected chair from the great state of Oregon. Mr. Chairman, I want you to introduce yourself to the folks. Tell them your name, again, where you're from again, and what your role is, and why you are here at the DNC meeting.
Sure, yeah. Thank you, Jamie, for having me. Nathan Soltz, chair of the Democratic Party of Oregon, youngest ever chair in our party's history.
Wow.
I was elected in March at 27.
27 years old.
Yeah, so it's been a fun time these last, guess it's almost a year now, 9 months as chair of our party. But in Oregon, we're so fortunate that we are a blue state, but we are a forged blue state.
Yeah.
And we know if we rest on our laurels that's all at risk. So I'm really proud to be able to lead our party. We have some great folks on the ground and amazing staff that have made this job just so fun. It's a lot of hard work, don't get me wrong, but I enjoy it every day.
Well, Mr. Chairman, let me tell you, I was a state party vice chair for 2 years, a state party chair for 4 years. It is, sometimes people call it the job, it is it was a fire hydrant. Like, everybody pisses on you. But why did you want to, 27, why the hell did you want to be a state party chair?
Well, so I actually got involved in our party when I was 17.
Yep.
The 2014 midterm elections, I called up my local county party, the Jackson County Democrats. I was born and raised in Southern Oregon. And I introduced myself, told them I was a senior at North Medford High School, and asked if I could volunteer with them, if I could intern. I don't think they'd gotten that question much before. So they started putting me to work. I did a little bit of everything, and I just loved it. So I stayed in party politics, in an area like mine where we had some really close legislative seats that we were able to hold on to. I saw that the work of the party really made a difference in that.
Yep.
And, in my family, my mother is an immigrant from El Salvador. And I'm, just so proud to say that. I know the importance of politics.
Yeah.
It's not hypothetical for families like mine. So it was just really important to me. I felt that from an early age to get involved. My parents were not that involved. They were actually both Republicans.
Oh, wow.
I like to say that I fixed that.
Yep.
And it's, so when it came time to get involved, I started doing and kind of served in so many roles on my way up to party chair. And I just saw, it's so important. People keep saying how important it is to have young voices at the table.
Exactly right.
So, it felt like the right time, and it's just been off to a really great start.
Yeah. I want to ask you one of the things that we asked for in preparation for this live stream was some questions from, we call it the voice of the voters. And there's this one question that I got from Montana that I think would be a good one for you. It's from Yvette Kirilenko in Montana. And she says, it seems that a lot of people who should be on our side think it is someone else's job to help our Democrats get their message out. How do we inspire and mobilize folks to do this when it seems it's so popular to bash Democrats instead? I'm always trying to counter it, but it's disheartening at times. How do you deal with that? Because it is now in vogue. It really is in vogue for folks to beat up on the Democratic Party.
It sure is. And Yvette, you definitely are not alone in feeling that way. Among my friends, a lot of my friends, of course, are politically involved, but I have a whole bunch of folks who aren't.
Yeah.
And while they support what I do, I'm not sure they fully get it. And growing up in Southern Oregon in particular, getting involved so young, when I would tell adults, parents of friends, what I was doing, how involved I was, it wasn't the response that you might expect when you're telling an adult that you're a kid doing, kind of grown-up things.
Yeah.
Because politics was kind of a dirty word, and being a Democrat in politics in Southern Oregon was even more of a dirty word. But being able to, and it's something that I've seen so much under, Chair Martin's leadership and under your leadership too, as the former chair, living our values, speaking our truths. So we're a big tent party. I think it's one of the things that makes us so great. We are a big tent party, so many different ideas. We don't, blindly follow people. We're not pledging allegiance to any one person, that there's no litmus test to be a Democrat. So recognizing that we bring all these to the table, but it's about having those conversations and being adults. So when people, are bashing us, it's important to remind them that, one Democrat in Southern Oregon is not the same as a Democrat in Portland. A Democrat in Kentucky isn't going to be the same as a Democrat in Washington. But the important thing is that there's values that bring us all together.
That's exactly right.
And I think it is important, though, that we hold ourselves accountable. And when we take back power in 2026 and in 2028, that we show folks that we're going to live our values, and we're going to fight for those things that we know that we value.
Well, listen, the one thing I do, and I really tell our candidates is, you don't inspire anybody to vote for a Democrat to start off by saying, well, we're not that great, right? I mean, if you're not that great, then why would folks want to vote for you?
Mm-hmm.
Lead with your strength.
Mm-hmm.
Tell people who you are and what we're fighting for,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really, really important. Mr. Chairman, I want you to give folks the website for the Oregon Democrat Party, so that if they want to contribute, they want to help you continue to make sure that Oregon stays blue, or if they just want to volunteer, that they can come and get in touch with you.
Yeah, thank you. We'd love to hear from any and all of you. The website's real easy, just DPO. That stands for Democratic Party of Oregon, dpo.org. Come sign up. We have, anything you want to do, whether it's, you don't like to knock doors, but you like to send texts. If you just want to help us at the mailroom, anything, there's room for everybody. And in particular, I have to plug our Neighborhood Leader program. It's something that makes Oregon so unique. One of the things that help us forge blue. We have a year-round organizing program, Neighborhood Leader program, where you sign up and you get about, 50 of your neighbors that we know are friendly. They're Democrats. We're even starting to expand into friendly non-affiliated voters. And just, you knock on your door, you make those connections. So when it gets time to vote, you just show up to them and remind them to turn in their ballot. And it's something that has made a real difference in some real close elections. We'd love for folks to sign up to that. That's dpo.org/NLP. And you can find it all on our website.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for being at our table.
Thank you, Jamie. Good talking to you.
Thank you. Folks, we're now going to be joined by somebody who is like my little brother. But he is doing some amazing things. He here at the DNC, but back home in his home state of Minnesota. So I want to welcome him as well. Come on, Mr. Chairman. How are you,
What's
sir?
up, brother? I'm so good. How you doing?
I'm great. Introduce yourself to our folks here on the live stream.
Absolutely.
And welcome to At Our Table.
All right. I love to be at the table.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? My name is Ron Harris. I am the DNC Midwestern Caucus Chair. I also chair the Resolutions Committee for the DNC as well. And I spent last year running Kamala's campaign in Minnesota. And trying to continue to do the good work.
And folks, he also briefly ran for Congress, but this is a guy who really gets stuff done, and he puts his whole heart into it. And I have loved seeing the growth of Ron since he became a DNC member years ago, and he keeps stepping up in these leadership roles, and he continues to deliver. So, man, I'm proud of you.
That means a lot.
And I'm so happy to have you here in DNC, and I'm so happy to have you in leadership. And one day, I want to see your name on some door as either the chair of the DNC or a senator or governor or something. Is going to happen because you're a tremendous leader.
That means a lot. Somebody told me this morning that service is the rent that we pay for living on this planet.
Yeah.
And regardless of the title, what I've been taught by you and other mentors is that show up and just continue to do the work.
Yeah.
Right. And the credit will come, the accomplishments will come.
It will all
chop
come.
wood and carry water every day.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your chairmanship over the region. What does that mean? Because a lot of our folks don't know the organization of the DNC, and that we have these various caucuses that are regionally based.
Yes.
And you're over the Midwestern caucus. What are the states in your caucus, and what do you do as chair?
So the Midwestern Caucus, as you know, has 13 states in the Midwest. I won't go through all of them.
Yeah, you don't have to.
13 states in the Midwest, from Minnesota at the top all the way to Oklahoma in the south.
Yep.
As west as Nebraska, and as east as Ohio and Indiana.
Yep.
And basically my role as a caucus chair is to really convene these states, convene the members from those states, the chairs and the vice chairs, make sure that they have the things that they need to do the good work in their own communities. I help them find speakers and things like that for their events, help them with fundraising, help them with programming, making connections to make sure that as a DNC member, they feel a part of the broader apparatus, and also they're equipped and prepared to be able to do the work within their own communities. So if we hear about a challenge in Iowa, where they need some volunteers, well, then I'm calling somebody from Wisconsin or Minnesota to see if we can help support them in their endeavors to win those races.
And that happens quite often, that you see within the regions, if you have a special election going on and it's all hands on deck, and you have other states calling in or sending postcards or text messages or what have you. And you all do that very well in the Midwestern Caucus. And your caucus has a particular bond. Very proud of being the Midwest,
the heartland, right? There's a certain sort of pride. This morning, so I walk into my caucus. I'm a little tired. It's been a long week. And I walk in and I'm like, all right, I need a little bit of energy.
Yeah.
And the members start chanting OHIO and IU, and they start chanting from their states.
Yeah.
Everybody just started the room with these chants. And it just was this level of energy and camaraderie that we really do care about each other and we're really looking out for each other. We recognize how hard the work is in our own communities.
Yeah.
And we come here to be restored.
2026 is coming. Midterm elections, really important. Taking back the House of Representatives, the possibility of the U.S. Senate. And in Ohio, we got a really important governor's race and U.S. Senate race. And some of these other states are also very similar. What's on the top of your radar as Midwestern chair in terms of these are 1 or 2, 3 races that we definitely going to focus on as a caucus?
Top of my mind, like I said, the heartland is where we're going to build back and we're going to win things. Top 3 in Ohio and Michigan, there are 5 statewide that are open races. Yeah, first time in their history.
So they in Michigan, and they have a governor's race and a U.S. Senate race.
U.S. Senate race, right? That's 1. 2, we just saw last night in Indiana.
Yeah,
the legislature pushed
that was
back
huge
on the redistricting. Huge, 31-19. Huge. What that tells me is that people are sick and tired of the rhetoric coming out of Washington from the administration. Yeah. And even Republicans are starting to push back on that.
And the crazy thing I read this morning, Donald Trump sent text messages. One of the senators said, I got to go to my son's baseball game or something like that. They found out the parents on her son's baseball team and sent text messages to those folks to try to intimidate that senator to vote for. Man, that's some crime boss stuff.
Look, you almost said it. That is straight out of a gangster movie. That is straight out of a gangster movie.
Out of a gangster movie.
Yep.
It is crazy.
Yep.
But what gives me so much hope is that she gave him the big FU.
That's exactly right.
I don't
That's
care.
exactly right.
Like you.
And Democrats we're here to pick up these pieces.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want us to isolate ourselves from disaffected Republicans.
Yeah.
I don't want to shame people for voting for Donald Trump. I want to validate that, even though I vehemently disagree with their choice, but I want to validate their choice so it opens up a possibility that if they regret their choice, we have welcome arms. I don't want to mess around and find out. I want them to feel like, you know what, I didn't make a mistake.
That's exactly
the Democratic Party is my home.
Yeah. Well, again, man, I'm so proud of you, so grateful. What is one parting message that you have for our listeners out there? And again, thank you so much for being at our table.
Man, thanks for bringing me to the table.
Yeah.
My one parting message. We're always talking about and trying to figure out what's the Democratic Party message.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is, but I know what my message is.
Yeah.
That you matter and you deserve more than what you've been getting. If we go around the country, we let people know they matter. All people want is to feel good about their lives.
Amen to that.
And they need to see us as the partner to help advance them feeling good about their lives.
Yeah.
So thank you, brother.
Thank you, man.
Continue to do that work, man.
Oh, always good seeing you, brother.
Good to see you.
Thank you for your
Appreciate
leadership, man.
Thank you for yours.
Thank you.
By the way, you were on my top 4 podcasts when I did my Spotify rap.
Oh, I love it. I love it. At our table.
Thanks.
Thank you, brother. Hello. Oh, wow. Look at that. You have to come on.
Talk about that.
Got to turn around so folks can see on camera. You see that, folks? Yes.
Her birthday today, and I'm going to talk about what that means for us culturally.
So what I want you to do is to tell everybody who you are and where you are from.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. My name is Selena Vasquez, and I am from Texas. I am the vice chair of the DNC Hispanic Caucus, along with treasurer of the Women's Caucus. And I'm also proud to say that I am a good friend of Jamie Harrison. I have watched him and learned so much from him. So it is a thrill to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. It is so great to have you here. It is so great to have you at our table. And, Texas is represented on the podcast today, too. There's so much going on in Texas right now. And, I go all across the country and everybody is talking about Texas, which is a good thing because I know for the longest, the folks in Texas like, what about us? What about us? We need some investment. We need so tell us about what's going on in Texas right now.
Thank you, Jamie. Well, there was so much happening in Texas. And first of all, I just want to remind the listeners that first of all, primeramente, Texas is huge.
Yes.
We are 254 counties. We are 30 million strong. And for me, it is a thrill because it is the honor of a lifetime for me to be a representative of the Democratic National Committee. I was proudly born and raised here in California, in Compton, California.
Yeah.
So this particular meeting, I am staying with my mom in Lakewood, and I'm driving in about 17 miles, but it's a 1.5 hour drive because of the LA traffic, Jamie.
The traffic here. Woo. Coming from the airport, it was something.
Yes. And so in Texas, we have many important races happening.
Yeah.
First of all, we have Gino Hinojosa, who is former Texas Democratic Party chairman, Gilberto Hinojosa's daughter, Gina.
Yeah.
And she is so exciting to watch because we saw her at a Tejano convention about a month ago, and the DNC was there, and she's talking about no te dejes. And her grandmother taught her que no se deje. No se deje means you better fight back. Don't let yourself. And in Texas, the Latino community, we're ready. Young Latinas are organizing. Young Latinas in the Valley, in the Rio Grande Valley, are so excited about a Tejano superstar by the name of Bobby Pulido, who has decided to take early retirement from his singing career to run for Congress and help us flip a seat.
And I'm hearing that we are going to flip that congressional seat, that he is so popular down there that we are going to flip that seat.
Well, Jamie, he's popular because he has a working class background.
Yeah.
He has deep roots with the Mexican American community.
Mm-hmm.
And as you saw when I walked in here today, I am wearing my cape. I have many roles. I'm a mom to my 17-year-old son, Diego. I'm a community leader. I'm a DNC member, but I'm also very proudly a Guadalupana.
Yeah.
And a Guadalupana is a leader, a matriarch in the Catholic Church. And what we do is we organize in our community. So whether it's Catholicism or another faith, for us, the values of the Democratic Party are reflected in La Virgen de Guadalupe.
Yeah.
And La Virgen de Guadalupe for us represents beauty. She is called La Virgen Morena. La Virgen Morena in English means the brown virgin.
Yeah.
Because again, culturally, our identity is very important to us. I am the daughter of immigrants from Mexico, raised in a union household, local 770 Butchers Union, right here in Vernon, California. Went to Our Lady of Victory School, Catholic school, all my life in Compton, California. And we prayed to the Virgin to give us peace in our community. We prayed to her for love and to give us strength as our community is under attack from California to Texas to Illinois to New York. And for us, Las Guadalupanas, La Virgen is a symbol of cultural pride, Jamie. She's a symbol of cultural pride. And the Virgen de Guadalupe is celebrated today because on this day in the 1500s, she appeared to Juan Diego.
Yeah.
What some people will call a peasant, but Juan Diego is like my father, who passed away a year and a half ago, a working class man, a person of the people, of the gente, of the community. That is our Mexican-American community. That is our Hispanic community. That is the Latino community whose values are reflected in the Democratic Party.
Tell me about right now, everybody's talking about these ICE raids. How are people talking about it in Texas?
In Texas, we are talking about it either through our WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Because even our parents and our grandparents and our aunts and uncles who are senior citizens, they all have phones.
Yeah.
They may not have a computer at home or a laptop, but they have phones. And we communicate through informal networks like WhatsApp or through the church.
Yeah.
Everyone gathers to go to Mass on Sunday, whether it's every Sunday or every other Sunday or once a month. But that's where we gather. And Jamie, and that is where we share information from San Antonio to Houston to Dallas to Arlington, Texas, where I reside in, to the Rio Grande Valley. We have informal networks.
Yeah.
And that is how we are communicating. And yes, at this time, our community feels very much under attack.
Yes. And what do they want? What do they want Democrats to do in order to push back on it?
Well, what my abuelita and my tia, what they want is that they want strong leadership, strong representation to fight back against the Greg Abbotts, against the Ken Paxtons, against the Trumpers. In the Latino community, I mean, they know. Trompas, el señor anaranjado, the orange guy, they know. Yes.
Captain Cheetos, as I like to call him.
Yes, and he's dangerous.
He is
and
dangerous.
He is very dangerous.
And he's a bully, and the bigotry and the misogyny that comes out of the White House is just unbelievable.
And so what we need to do is continue to talk about it on Univision, on Azteca, in our language and with leaders like myself and other leaders from the community to let them know, no están haciendo nada mal. Y'all ain't doing anything wrong. We got to turn out the vote.
There we go.
We have a March 3rd primary. We have a general election in November 2026. And for the very first time in Texas history, in a very long time, we have somebody running in every position on the ballot statewide.
That is fantastic. And it's a great way to end our conversation. I want to thank you so much for your friendship. Thank you for your support over the years. I am proud of what you are doing in Texas and the passion that you bring each and every day. Thank you for being at our table. And I can't wait until 2026 when folks say, what is going on in Texas?
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you for being... It's good seeing you. Thank you so much.
Always in the
Folks, I am overjoyed now. Our next guest for here at our table, man, he doesn't even need any damn introduction.
Oh my God.
Oh, my brother from another mother from Pennsylvania, y'all.
Pennsylvania.
Please welcome DNC Vice Chair Malcolm Kenyatta. Welcome to At Our Table.
Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to be at the table.
Oh, man.
I want you to know this is one of my podcasts I don't miss, man. I don't say that just because I'm with you. I don't miss it.
Well, I really, really appreciate you, man. And I just want you to know how proud I am of you.
Thank you.
How much you have given me so much life, how much energy you bring. You came down to South Carolina right after you were elected.
I did.
Vice chair of the DNC.
Well, my grandmother's from South Carolina, so if I show up in South Carolina, I was gonna get in trouble, man.
Listen, I always tell people, like, for most Black folks, I think National Geographic said that 90% of Black people can trace at least one ancestor back to South Carolina.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, because 40% of enslaved people came to the country through the port of Charleston. And so people came through Charleston, heritage right there, that no other place where you had that many enslaved folks come to. Through the port of Charleston, came right there.
That's why you listen to At the Table, because you teach it.
Listen.
You teach it. I did not know that.
And so many folks would spend their summers and all that in South Carolina because that's where their family is from, and many other families are still there. Yeah. But you spoke at our Black Caucus at their dinner, and you had so much passion and clarity in terms of message.
Yeah.
You've been now on the road for this year. How many states have you visited?
26.
26 states. How many events have you done?
100 and something.
26 states, over 100. And all of this, y'all, it's not even a year yet since this man was elected, vice chair of the DNC.
Yep.
And you've done it so well. And
I had a good role model. But a part of what we talked about, Chair, at that dinner, and a part of what we've been talking about everywhere, is what politics is actually about.
Yeah.
And keeping the main thing the main thing. And the main thing is, what are we doing to make people's lives better?
Yep.
What are we doing to make people's lives better? And I know that for so many people, it's easy to tune out because we treat politics too often like the candidates are the stars of the show.
Yeah.
And the voters and families, you're extras in the show. And a lot of people say, you know what? I don't want to be an extra in this movie, so I'm not showing up on set.
Yep.
When the reality is, people in our community, you are the stars of the show, and the elected officials have a very narrow job, and it's to show up every single day to make your life better. Not about them, it's about us.
I want to ask you, we have this thing called Voice of the Voters, and we got a question from one of our subscribers. It's Jason Hennison. He said, what are you doing to fight back, meaning you generally, all of us, what are you doing to fight back against the media's image of Democrats? It feels like the media would rather crap on Dems than show we were the best choice going into 2024 and instead choose to push Trump and his folks.
You know what? You're absolutely right, brother. Whoever wrote this question, you're absolutely right. There is definitely, I think, a sort of muscle memory around crapping on Democrats, particularly in the press. But I also think this is a moment where we have to do a couple of things. We have to push back and build up. We have to push back on what Donald Trump is doing to make people's lives worse. What he's doing to put people in a position where your receipt at the grocery store is a lot more expensive than it was just a couple of months ago prior to his presidency. Put people in a position where if you can even afford daycare, it's the same price you might pay for a first year in college. So we have to push back on all of those things. But then we have to also build up this party. And a part of the way we build up the party is to get people who are frustrated with what the party has been to be involved.
Yeah.
You don't have to be frustration free to get involved. And I think a lot of people say, well, if you're involved in the Democratic Party, then it is a cosign of anything that they're frustrated about. No, our involvement in the Democratic Party is a commitment to make this party what we know it can and must be. And I say to people who are frustrated, a part of why the Democratic Party is not what it can and must be is because you're not there. because you're not involved, because your stories are not centered at the table, centered in the conversation. The assholes who have no business being in politics, they show up every single election.
And they show up to everything.
They do. They show up. And so we have to find a way to, to continue to show up. And I'll say this last point specifically about the media. They're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And so I think we have to do what you're doing and create our own platforms to have our own conversations, A. But then B, we have to recognize that I don't think we're going to TikTok dance our way out of autocracy. I think we have to knock on people's doors. We have to have those face-to-face conversations that the technology of that we're being inundated with has made people more resistant to engage in. That sort of knocking on doors, dropping a flyer, having that conversation in people's living rooms. And that's what you're sort of cultivating with this.
Well, that human-to-human connection is something that sometimes I think we get so enamored with technology that we miss the one thing is there's nothing like, seeing somebody breaking bread with folks, having those conversations, and that has so much more power. Sharing stories, so much more power than just sending a piece of mail or watching or putting out a TV ad or any of those other things. And so I think
100%.
As Democrats, if we can get back to just the old tried and true ways of doing things, like really just that connection, I think that's how we get folks back.
And I want to leave you with this last gem. A part of what the disconnect is as well is for many people from a geographic perspective, the only time they're hearing from Democrats is from Republicans.
Yes.
Let me leave you with this statistic. We have 3,143 counties in this country. 3,143. In the 2024 election, there were 20,000 uncontested races in this country for a variety of different offices. 20,000 uncontested races. Of those 20,000 races, 80% of them were uncontested by Republicans. Only 20% were uncontested by Democrats. So from a geographical perspective, we're missing the boat in terms of having those direct conversations. If we don't have Democrats who are running for mayor, then we don't have Democrats talking about what our vision is around public safety and around investing in public education. If we don't have Democrats running for school board, then you have Moms for Liberty that fills the vacuum and fills the void. If you don't have Democrats running for county commissioner, then we're not putting forward our ideas about how to make housing more affordable and more accessible. And I think from my perspective, even as vice chair of the national party, the way we win, the way we push back and get out of the sort of media echo chamber is to make sure there are Democratic candidates who are running at every single level of government, having that face-to-face conversation.
Compete everywhere.
That's right.
And we cannot leave one seat uncontested.
That's right.
And folks, if you're saying, well, I wish my Democratic Party would find somebody, guess what? You're somebody. Even if it's you running, even if you have to put your name on the ballot because nobody else will, put your name on the ballot. Make sure you are running and give people a choice. Because if you give people a choice, and if this big blue wave that I believe is building runs, you can't take advantage of a wave if you don't have anybody to ride it, right? Okay. So you got to
get out those surfboards.
Get out the surfboards.
Start paddling.
And start paddling because we need that to happen. And when that happens, it will be a sea change in this country.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna make life better for people.
Well, listen, I am so overjoyed again by all of that you're doing, and you're putting your whole self into this work.
Thank you.
It really is a joy to see you and the energy. And people tell me, Malcolm Kenyatta was here, and man, he rocked the house.
And I'm gonna be back, man. That's South Carolina.
Yes.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you,
man. Best of luck to you.
You too.
Thank you. And thank you for all that you do. And folks, thank you for being on this live stream. We were live here at the DNC. I wanted to make sure you got a little glimpse of some of the people who make up the DNC. All of them are grassroots folks. Many of them, just like you, put on their pants one leg at a time. But they love this party and they are volunteering, many of them, and contributing. And that's the bottom line. We need everybody to do something, really have a part in building and protecting this democracy of ours. I hope you've enjoyed this little glimpse of At Our Table. Maybe we'll, if you all like this, maybe we'll set up again at the next DNC meeting. It's going to be in New Orleans in April. So think about that. I'll bring some beignets and all that other stuff. And maybe we can have a few of you come to the meeting that are in Louisiana. But again, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have not, go to AOTpodcast.com. This week's AOT podcast, it is the one and only Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow is on the show. Folks, I have to say this was one of my favorite conversations. And very soon, y'all, I'm breaking news with you right now. We will have at our table the former Vice President of the United States, Kamala D. Harris. So again, subscribe, make sure you share it with all your friends and family. AOTpodcast.com. Become a subscriber. At Our Table is different than all of the other stuff that's going on because we're having real conversations, family-style conversations with leaders across the country. And I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed doing this. This has been one of the highlights of my time as a former chair. And I'll leave you with this. I had the honor of attending the funeral of President Jimmy Carter right before I stepped down as chair. And one of the things that I saw was President Carter really appreciated that he was a better former president than he was a president. Well, my goal after leading that funeral was that I wanted to be a better former chair than I was a chair. And that means putting my heart and soul continue into this work to make sure that we stood up for the Democratic Party and our values. And I hope you have enjoyed this journey thus far and this discussion. And again, subscribe to AOTpodcast.com, get family and friends, and join us next at Our Table. If you enjoyed today's show, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, or anywhere you find your podcasts. To be the first to know who will be at our table next, be sure to subscribe to our Substack on jamieharrison.substack.com. At Our Table with Jamie Harrison is a production of Vision Blue Media. Our founding executive producers are Jason Hyder and Jamie Harrison. Our producers are Kyle Kelly and Emily Harrell. Our content consultants are Ernie Grigg and Clay Middleton. Our digital communications are led by Lauren Brown. Courtney Reimer of Sounds Great Strategies is our creative consultant. Neil Rossini of FWRV LLP provides production legal. Title sequence by Tom Hunt. Our theme song, Blonde Gone, is written by Dewey and published by Alibi Music Library. I'm Jamie Harrison, and I look forward to another conversation at Our Table.